Hello everyone, Joseph Dunphy here, and this is your weekly Grass10 grazing management update on the dairy edge. PastureBase Ireland figures for the week are average farm cover of 912 kilos of dry matter per hectare and growth rates of 7 kilos of dry matter per hectare. Dry matter percentages are 15% in Athenry, County Galway, 16% in Oak Park, County Carlow, and 14% in Moore Park, County Cork, which are all about 2% back on last week's dry matters. The predicted grass growth, rainfall, and soil temperatures for the next 7 days are grass growth is expected to be in the region of 9 to 10 kilos across the country, with slightly cooler weather expected towards the weekend. Soil temperatures have been quite high over the last 7 days, which can be seen on most farms with a good healthy green colour on paddocks, but these will slip a degree or two this week to between 6 and 7 degrees. Rainfall predictions for the week are for 20 millimetres for the east and the southeast, and for between 30 and 35 millimetres for the north, the west, and the southwest. The comment by this week's featured farmer, Fergal Coughlan, that you cannot have enough temporary reels and posts in your yard perfectly describes grazing at the minute on Irish dairy farms. Grazing conditions have been challenging again this week. However, many farmers are getting grass in the diet by using all the grazing tools at their disposal. 3 to 4 hour grass allocations and ensuring that cows have a keen appetite going to the paddock are essential to get good grazing utilisation in this week. Walk your paddocks and aim to get grazing for the remainder of this week, even if that is just a grazing by day. Cows should be grazing covers of less than 12 to 1300 kilos of dry matter per hectare at the minute, so that you're moving through area, especially if you have a low percentage of your farm grazed. If you're going for a second grazing during the day, it is vital that your day and your workload is structured well to have cows back at grass again early in the afternoon. An approach that can work is if cows are going out to grass between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning, that they return to the shed between 12 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon, depending on what the weather is like that day. It is then vital that the cows are milked between 3 and 4 o'clock, and that they return to the field somewhere between 4 and 4:30 in the afternoon in the right paddock closer to the yard. Cows can then return to the shed between 6 and 8 p.m, and a bat latch can help from a labour saving point of view. Cows should have access to silage then until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which helps them to have an appetite for grazing at 9 o'clock the following morning. In this week's Grass10 newsletter, we detail how the grazing calculator on the PastureBase app can help you to allocate grass. All you need to do is open your PastureBase app now and click Cover Data, and then click Grazing Calculator, and follow our 5-step process in this week's newsletter to help you allocate the correct area of a paddock. Speaking with Fergal Coughlan from Inishannon in County Cork, he's about 74% of his herd calved over the last 4 weeks. Grazing has not been perfect, but he's trying his best with the conditions. A lot of on-off grazing has been practiced, which has got him to quite a high figure of 25% grazed. About 32% of the farm has received 2,000 gallons of slurry per acre, and he's going to apply some slurry post-grazing on some paddocks when weather allows. Some other paddocks will receive 20 units of nitrogen per acre this week. He is currently grazing a heavy cover of just over 2,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare at the minute, as his cows have been trained rightly into a routine over the last few weeks. Fergal then commented towards the very end that a protein test that came into him this morning of 3.91% makes allocating grass over the last couple of weeks very much worth it. Lastly, coming back to the point of early spring nitrogen, the average farm covers from PastureBase this week at 912 kilos of dry matter per hectare are about 150 to 200 kilos behind where we would like. And our final point this week on early spring nitrogen, the average farm cover this week from PastureBase Ireland is 912 kilos dry matter per hectare, and this is about 150 to 200 kilos of dry matter per hectare behind where we would like to see it. So it's vital that you take your opportunities over the next week to spread chemical nitrogen when conditions allow. Remember, 1.5 tonne or 1 pallet of 46% protected urea applied at a rate of 23 units per acre will cover in around 60 acres or 24 hectares. So have some nitrogen ready to go in your yard. Graze paddocks also have the option of getting 2,500 gallons of dilute slurry as the conditions suit on your farm. If you would like to hear more from the Grass10 team, subscribe to the weekly Grass10 newsletter, which is available on the Grass10 page on the Teagasc public website. And the link to the newsletter is also available in the description of this podcast. This has been your Grass10 update, and I'll talk to you all next week.